Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Manny B Investing MBI, and this is the XDAO presentation or in Q&A with DcSpark's CMO, Carl Rossi, and we're going to take a look and listen and do some commentary on the project. So a lot of their social media that we looked at in a previous video didn't really shine a big light on what this project is and what it does and what their purpose is and how they're going to be moving forward. So hopefully we gain some knowledge from this video. At least that's my goal and hope that they do that. So we're looking at them because we did look at the Lumira Finance section of this video. Check that out if you haven't. And they mentioned XDAO, and I have an interest in DAOs. I've kind of been outspoken against the way that they work. I've talked about this in spaces with Paribus. I don't know if you guys remember that, but I didn't like the idea of a pure democracy, just like I don't like the idea of a pure democracy in America. It just doesn't work, and that's not how America is built. Because just because you have the largest group of people, it doesn't necessarily mean what those people believe is the true vision of good or would work. Their idea might fail. So just because you have a bunch of people that agree doesn't mean what they agree on is the best move forward. So thinking that the largest group should just have the say is kind of silly. And historically, in our own history on this planet, it just typically just doesn't work. It always collapses. So I feel like there needs to be safeguards in place to kind of keep things fair, keep things moving in a working fashion instead of just the largest group of people that have consensus wins. I just think that's silly. So let's jump in and see what they have to say.
Today is actually a fully customizable DAO builder. It's XDAO. We have Igor and Suvar here, and I welcome XDAO to listen to their pitch and then invite them over to answer some questions.
Hello Milkamedia! Today we'll take a look at our very cool project, XDAO. XDAO is DAO Builder. I am a Chief Technological Officer and co-founder at XDAO. My name is Igor Gavrilov. Today I want to say you some heavy news. We completely integrated our product on Milkamedia blockchain, so we deployed all of the smart contracts and we launched our product on Milkamedia. And now
okay, so that answers the question that I had. I figured that it was not a Cardano project. It is an EVM project, so it's an Ethereum-based project, but they have packaged up their code and have launched it on Milkamedia, which is what Milkamedia is for. It's for allowing, Cardano or ADA settlement with EVM smart contracts. So they're bringing their product to Milkamedia, which is pretty cool. So let's continue.
Now you can create a DAO on Milkamedia. You can manage your funds collectively, you can vote with your friends, with your investors, with your family. So let's shortly look at our results. Now we are on 24 blockchains and we have about 100k monthly visitors, just a couple less. We have a lot of subscribers in our social media. We got a lot of awards. We won a lot of hackathons. We got awards from Binance Smart Chain, Near Foundation, Polygon Tron, and of course, we received a grant from Milkamedia Foundation. That's happy news.
I got a grant.
And our main point today is to talk about DAO business on Milkamedia. So when you have a DAO is something like fund, or maybe something like traditional company transferred to a decentralized space. And you can do everything that you can do with traditional company, but in DeFi. I launched our application, connected my wallet, and I chose Milkamedia blockchain at bottom left corner, so we can see all the things. I have my account, my DAO tokens, my voting, the same as bank account, but in...
So what he's kind of going over right now is governance. So you'll be able to use your tokens, your governance tokens, to cast votes on initiatives, similar to like voting in the American political system.
Decentralized space with company management. Let's take a look at the process of DAO creation. Clicking on Create a DAO, choose a name, Hello, DAO symbol, set up partners and shares, set up a quorum, and create a DAO. I already created my DAO on Milkamedia. This DAO is called SuperRecord. And we can see all the information about this company, something like we created a page on Facebook, like something like Facebook or Twitter profile. But You can see not only the information about social media, about rules of this company, but you can see all the balances, all the quorum, and all the trades this company executed. So we can see voting. And I proposed to my company to create an LP token. So we can see this LP token with some rules to raise an investment round. We can see some features. These are rules of a company. And
that's pretty cool. So what he's doing is he's actually creating a DAO from scratch using this this project. So with this, I mean, it's a DAO builder, so it allows you to build a DAO for your project. So you would probably ask, well, why would somebody want to do this? Well, I mean, an individual can do it, but this is more for projects. So like in the example, the reason why we're looking at that is because Lumira Finance is interested in creating a DAO. But instead of them, you know, reinventing the wheel, building in this DAO, they can actually go to a project like XDAO. They can utilize their system, their code, their tool to create a DAO for their project easily and be able to distribute those tokens that allows people to do governance. So you can create proposals. So they can say, hey, the next chain that we're going to, or the next project that we're going to support will be, you know, these options, these 5 options. So we'll focus on one. Whoever wins the vote. So they would go in, they would create a proposal. That proposal would be, what is the next project that we're going to be working on, including into the platform. And then you would go in, and the people that hold these governance tokens, they would cast their vote, and they would be weighted, and there would be results, and whoever wins, this is the next project that they would do. So that's just an example of a governance proposal vote. And it can be things like that. It can be anything where there's a choice involved. They can put the proposal up. They can start it. There's a start date and an end date. Get your vote in by between this date, and people go in and they vote, and whoever wins wins. And it works the same way as like a political election would work. Or if you have in your state, you have like initiatives. So if there's like an initiative to make a change in something or fund something, you would vote on that. And I think this is actually pretty cool.
We can go to any module, we can interact with any module we provided to Milkomeda, and you can significantly increase your performance as a company manager using XDAO. First of all, when we are in the DeFi space, the first thing you want to start with is the deep integration. So when you have a DeFi project, DEX or maybe Lending Protocol, Launchpad and others, you want to connect your DAO to this project, and you're able to do it with Connect. So you can use Connect page, and you can use any decentralized application that supports Wallet Connect. And as an infrastructure project, we also want to bring some cool features, cool business features to Milkomeda blockchain. So we are able to set up a DAO for any DeFi project. We are able, and we want to. We want to distribute a DAO model. So you can vote with any token for DAOs. You can create a DAO with your community token or just a small portion of shares of your company. And you can quickly list your tokens of a DAO on any DEX. So you can go to a public market. And in this case, we hope that we will bring a lot of features to Milkomeda blockchain. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, we have Egor and we have Surab here live, so I will invite you guys to jump into the screen for the Q&A session. So welcome Surab and welcome Egor, officially the Chief Administrative Officer and CTO, right? Chief Technology Officer of XDAO.
Yes, correct.
Welcome,
Hello.
guys. They're welcome to see you.
Oh, they're together.
Thanks for inviting us.
Perfect. So we have open now the Q&A session. I'm going to repeat again how it works, just in case. So you guys can.
I don't really have any questions other than like the execution of how this works. And is this code like isolated to Milkomeda and there's no connection to their code on, Ethereum mainnet or Arbitrum, or is all of this interconnected and interoperable? Also, how long they've been at it, why what is the catalyst for all of these different foundations, these known foundations like Nervos and Milkomeda, to provide them with grants to build this out? What value did they show them? Like, what was there a demo product? What's their connection to all of these foundations to give them, grants? Like that would be my only question so far.
Send your questions, and we're gonna select some of them. And
hopefully someone
I have also eventually have here around Nico Arqueros, who eventually will be the one that is reading the questions. So we are gonna wait a little longer to see what we can receive from the community.
Yeah, so we already have our first question. So if I have never created a DAO before, where can I learn how to do it on Milkomeda?
Okay, the best way to teach yourself on some skill is just to try to create a DAO. And the best way to interact with our users is to create a user-friendly interface. But also we provide some tutorials on YouTube. So we created video tutorials. We also created some text tutorials in our documentation.
I didn't see that on their YouTube channel. It's
just straightforward. You only need 30 seconds to create a DAO. Just choose a name, choose a symbol, set up partners and shares, and set up a quorum, and you're in the game. So you can use tutorials, or you can just go to website xdao.app and create your DAO by connecting the wallet.
So if you need some more information about creating a DAO, you should just visit our website docs.xdao.app and find the section how to create a DAO. Also, while you're using our XDAO application, you can see the small tips and just press these buttons and go to read and to see YouTube tutorials how to do this or that. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you, guys. Let's see if we have any other questions. Let's see. Okay, so the next question, is there a maximum number of people who can join one of the DAOs that you have created using XDAO?
Okay, when we talk about a number of members in a DAO, let's talk about the number of holders of USDC token. So how much users can hold USDC token? Near infinite number, 10 to the power of 80. So this is much more than our universe, much more than Milky Way and Andromeda and modern Milkomeda in the future. And the same number holds for a DAO from the technical side. So the same number as holds shares of your DAO, the same number can interact with your DAO, and we call these people as members of this DAO. Also, we provide two types of tokens, governance token and liquidity provider token. If you're a manager and if you're a vote in a DAO, you just hold this governance token. You can't pretend for money of this DAO. You're just a manager. If you're an investor, you can provide your liquidity and receive a liquidity provider token, something like crypto share from this DAO. And you're able to be an investor of this DAO. And the possible number of DAO users is unlimited.
Cool. And also, maybe to clarify, do I need to create a DAO and put all the members? I can add members along the way.
Yes. If you have a Bitcoin, for example, you can hold Bitcoin, you can transfer Bitcoin to your friends, and you can increase the number of holders of this coin. The same holds for DAO tokens. When you create a DAO, you can set up partners and shares. And when you invite your friend to this DAO, you need to pass a quorum. You need to create a voting, pass a quorum. You need to gain some accepts from your partners, and you are able to invite new friends in your DAO. The same holds for removing partners from the DAO.
Yeah, and one more clarification, GT tokens, governance tokens, they're not
transferable.
Yeah, they're not transferable. So to transfer a token to another person, you should first reach a quorum, vote, execute it, and only in that case you can transfer a token to another partner. Yeah, but if you own LP tokens and you bought these LP tokens, they are fully transferable. You can list them on decentralized exchange, or you can sell it in any other way. So it's up to you.
Okay, and maybe that connects pretty well with the next question, which is, can I use my existing community token for voting in my DAO, or am I I'm not required to create a new one?
And first of all, when you have a token, maybe you have a lot of holders and you don't want to create an executable voting. So you don't want to execute this voting on chain because you can't control the process if you have a lot of holders of your token. So you can create a cell in a DAO, and you can provide a way for your community just to vote without any execution. And also, if you want to execute a voting, we strictly recommend you to use our setup with a governance token because it's something like soul bound. So you can't you can transfer it. We are beating this double spending problem and other things. You are able.
So that's like, so you would use a bridge, I guess. Like, say you already had a governance token. Say you were I don't know, what's that Bitcoin project that's on Cardano, and they've released this governance token that all these people have. If they wanted to use XDAO, would they have to? I mean, they couldn't actually use that token. They would have to maybe have people lock the token in a contract, and then they would be given the XDAO governance token, which they can then use to execute their vote. I think that's what I'm gathering from this.
But we don't recommend to do it. But for community voting without on-chain execution, this is a perfect solution. If you have a token, you can provide a way to vote with it.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. I think we don't have any other questions. Let's give it a moment. I think someone is raising his hand, but is it possible that you could type your question so I can read it? Okay. So the next question, what is the plan of action, if any, in the event of a bad actor in the DAO arises?
First of all, you can't execute arbitrary transaction from the DAO side without reaching a quorum. If you have a quorum, for example, as 51%, you need to have more than a half of bad actors in your DAO. And there is nothing to do it. If you have a lot of bad actors, you can't defend this process. But if you have one bad actor that proposes you a scam transaction, for example, he wants to transfer all the money to his personal wallet, you can just not vote in this voting. You don't have to provide a vote for every voting created on a DAO. But also, if you are invited in a new DAO that is bad, that is scam DAO, if you are transferred your money to this DAO, if you're an investor of this DAO, what can you do? You have an LP token, you cannot vote, but you want to get your money back from this DAO. And this concept is called like rage quit in other DAO builders. We just call it LP burning process. So you can burn your shares, LP tokens, you will get rid of them, but you will receive a proportional amount of money from the DAO side. So you always, even if you don't have a voting right, can exit a DAO with your money, or maybe with your profits, if a DAO raised some profits from the market.
Also, if you're a governance token holder and you see some bad actors in your DAO, you can initiate a voting and burn governance tokens from this bad actor, and then just execute to reach a quorum and kick him off.
Interesting.
Perfect. And also, as we know, like blockchains, like DAOs, they protect against bad actors. So it's expected that sometimes they're going to show up, but it's not going to be a problem until like they are like a big number, like you guys explained. Thank you, guys.
And we're going to start with the first one.
That's that. I know most people aren't going to be interested in this, but I had an interest in it because, you know, I'm just interested in infrastructure and like how projects are going to build things, like what options they have on the development side. So this isn't really something that, I mean, if you watch this or you're like, what the heck is this guy talking about? What the heck is a DAO? You shouldn't feel bad for that. This is kind of more advanced stuff. They're just a DAO builder. They looks like Lumiere is looking for a DAO, looking to build one. They might have a solution for them. So I was just curious, and it, you know, is for my Paribus people, same thing. that looks like it might be an option for Paribus if they decide to go that way. There might be a little, it might be weird because the Paribus token is a governance token, and it's supposedly to be used for staking for protocol fees. So I don't know how they would make that work, like especially if it's staked in a smart contract already, and you would also need to use those tokens to vote. I don't know if they make you pull and then put in the vote, or they just use, I don't know, wallet ownership or something. I don't know how that would all work. But it's all new. It's all ground level stuff. So we'll see what happens as time passes. Thank you for checking out the channel. Make sure you hit that like, hit that share, subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.